GPT 4.5 rumors swirl as ChatGPT's performance gets better over the weekend, and it turns out that TikTok parent ByteDance has been secretly training their own LLM using OpenAI's API. Welcome back to the AI Breakdown Brief, all the AI headline news you need in around 5 minutes. I don't think we're going to stop getting GPT 4.5 rumors until GPT 4.5 comes out. And over the weekend, they heated up for two big reasons. One, a lot of people seem to notice a performance increase in ChatGPT. And also, a number of different people reported that when they asked ChatGPT what model was being used in the API, that it was in fact GPT 4.5 Turbo. So let's back up a step and talk about where this actually all came from. You'll remember that last Thursday, we got this leak, or at least what was presented as a leak, that showed GPT 4.5 pricing. It was an OpenAI.com pricing page that seemed to be a draft, and it showed three GPT 4.5 models: GPT 4.5, GPT 4.5-64K, and GPT 4.5 Audio and Speech. The description said, "Our most advanced model brings multimodal capabilities across language, audio, vision, video, and 3D, alongside complex reasoning and cross-modal understanding." Now, when this came out, the accounts that have been most associated with previous OpenAI leaks, including Flowers from the Future and Jimmy Apples, said that they weren't sure that this was real and that their sources couldn't specifically validate it, but that it did seem on the face of it correct. At the same time, when someone asked Sam Altman if it was real, he commented simply, "Nah." That, however, did generate a response from those same accounts that Altman was just trolling us. Now, it wasn't just one account over the weekend that said that the model was running GPT 4.5. There were, in fact, numerous reports of this. The explanation given by OpenAI team was that it was simply hallucination, but Flowers from the Future had a different possible answer as well. That account wrote, "1. GPT-4 Turbo runs on a very low temperature, making hallucinations highly reproducible. This explains mass hallucinations in general. How would GPT-4 know its current version without reading about it in a system message, which currently doesn't say anything about 4.5? At release, we had to precisely tell it that it is GPT-4 and not GPT-3. This is because large parts of the RLHF dataset were used for GPT-4 as well. 3. However, if you use a whole new RLHF approach, you might bake the 4.5 identity into it, and then you wouldn't need to tell it what it is anymore. 4, and this is obviously the most important detail, editors note, it's not uncommon practice for OpenAI to do secret pre-release A/B testing. They did the exact same thing with GPT-4 Turbo. People got access weeks before it was announced or even rumored." So what added juice to all of these rumors, and what seems to potentially validate that fourth bullet from Flowers, was that in addition to people getting the same message, that the model that ChatGPT was running was 4.5, people also seemed to notice a performance increase. Professor Ethan Malik writes, "ChatGPT 4 suddenly got very good again for some reason after being unreliable and a little dull for weeks." He continues, "Really, really good and fast. It's almost like working with a more capable system, night and day for both speed and answer quality." That said, Ethan wasn't convinced that it was 4.5, in fact said, "Some replies in the post are saying that their version of ChatGPT Plus is reporting that it is GPT 4.5. Not seeing any sign of that myself. Also, the system does not feel like a step change in abilities so far. Faster and better quality responses, yes, but not a radical shift." Now then, adding fuel to this fire, last night the official ChatGPT app tweeted just two emojis, a brain symbol, and an emoji surrounded by clouds, which some, like Rowan Chung, suggested brain fog or maybe ChatGPT saying that this 4.5 thing was just a hallucination. But for now, the rumor mill continues in full swing, like I said, as it will be until we actually get this new model. Now, staying on the theme of OpenAI for just a minute, The Verge has revealed that ByteDance, which is of course the parent company of TikTok, has been secretly using OpenAI's API to build a competitor. Notably, this is against the OpenAI terms of service, and according to The Verge, quote, "Employees involved are well aware of the implications." The Verge reporter goes on, "I've seen conversations on Lark, ByteDance's internal communication platform for employees, about how to whitewash the evidence through data desensitization. The misuse is so rampant that Project Seed employees regularly hit their max allowance for API access." The reporting basically said that at the beginning of Project Seed, which is their internal code name for their LLM project, the use of OpenAI was even worse at the beginning, but a few months ago, ByteDance apparently tried to get off the OpenAI spigot. However, it appears that some violations remain and that the company is concerned with it. Quote, "As a person with firsthand knowledge of the situation inside ByteDance put it, they say they want to make sure everything is legal, but they really just don't want to get caught." Now, this story was published at the end of last week, and after it was published, an OpenAI spokesperson confirmed to The Verge that ByteDance's account had been suspended. They included a statement, "All API customers must adhere to our usage policies to ensure that our technology is used for good. While ByteDance's use of our API was minimal, we have suspended their account while we investigate further. If we discover that their usage doesn't follow these policies, we will ask them to make necessary changes or terminate their account. Now, why would a company like ByteDance take this sort of risk? The only suggestion that The Verge and others can come up with is that they feel very far behind the competition and are under significant pressure to deliver quickly. Really interesting and developing story, and shows just how tense this AI arms race really is. A sad market update today. Chinese AI company SenseTime has had shares plunge to an all-time low after their founder died on Friday at the age of 55. SenseTime was founded in 2014 and went public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange in 2021. SenseTime builds a variety of AI products, including AI-enabled content generation and facial recognition. Now, speaking of facial recognition, AI surveillance is one of the most controversial uses of the technology. Facial identification in particular was identified in the EU AI Act as the most risky category of use, and in fact in some contexts will be banned. But now it appears that more broadly speaking, as they prepare to host the Olympics next year, France is exploring how AI surveillance can help them with security. Writes the Washington Post from Nice, "If you visit this gateway to the glamorous French Riviera, you know one thing: you are being watched." The story from the Post is basically about how, in the wake of a terrorist attack in Nice back in 2016, Nice, France has become ground zero for a totally new AI-powered approach to public surveillance. Writes the Post, "A total of 4,200 cameras are deployed in public spaces, or one for every 81 residents. These are not the CCTV cameras of old. Some are equipped with thermal imaging and other sensors, and they are connected to a command center and AI technology that can flag minor infractions when someone parks illegally or enters a public park after hours, as well as potentially suspicious activity such as someone trying to access a school building. The city has trialed facial recognition software so accurate that it can tell the difference between identical twins." Said Mayor Christian Estrosi, "There are people who have declared war on us, and we cannot win the war using the weapons of peace. Artificial intelligence is the most protective weapon we have." Now, France has an interesting spot relative to the rest of the European Union as relates to the EU AI Act. It's not just questions around surveillance issues that present a possible disagreement, but the leadership in France is concerned that the EU AI Act is going to surrender Europe's ability to compete at all when it comes to the actual AI industry. Given that open source darling Mistral is headquartered in their country, one can understand why they have a little bit more concern on that front. Anyway, whether it's France or somewhere else, these larger questions of AI surveillance are going to be a key new vector of the security versus freedom conversation. So get prepared to wade into that debate if you haven't been there yet. That's going to do it for today's AI Breakdown Brief. Next up, the main AI Breakdown.